can tell, you can really tell that fall is coming because of the leaves falling. Still stuff growing, even though we mauled the hell out of this place. Dot. That's what we got. Dot. Well, here we are at Camp Zero. Yes, sir. Beautiful sunny day. Really, really nice. And trying to get a cup of coffee going here. I've been cutting more kindling up. You can see I got a whole stack of it there. I'm going to burn that stuff. Leo's getting better. He says he'll be ready tomorrow probably. He's hoping that the cable for the drone might come tomorrow. I'm not sure if it will or not, but apparently that's the reason that the drone wasn't working properly the last time we were out there, out on the lake. We were afraid it was going to go in the water and take a little swim, which I guarantee it ain't gonna work. It'll be a $2,000 loss. So we're not doing that until we make sure it works properly. Right now I'm cooking. You can't see the flame. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of gas this is, but you never see the flame. You can hear the flame, but you can't see it. It's getting hot already. Look at the bubble. Yeah. One thing you gotta watch out is that the handle doesn't get hot. I pull it usually back a little bit. You know, that's already getting hot enough. I would say that would make coffee, but I want to make it like blindingly hot. I like hot coffee. There's many parts of this story that I haven't told on the trip to South America, and I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to make some coffee. I think that's done. I'm going to turn this off now. I'll be damned. Maybe the fire will get going. I don't know. It's looking like it's a possibility. It looks like it's spreading. I don't know. Sort of at times looks better, and then now it's not looking as good. I don't know, maybe not. So it's alright. I'll be damned. Look at that. It is going. Oh man, is it going. Hi folks. It's Tony from Whalebones. The topic this day is kind of strange. I call it the repetitent cow. And let me explain. Everybody has something they love in this life. I'm speaking of something alive, not a car or a new gun or anything. And the reason I bring this up is I went to visit my son Andy after 4 years of being sort of estranged. And he and his fiancée and his son Emery were there. And what it came to be known, and they had 2 dogs, I can't remember, let's see, one was called, oh gosh, what was his name? One was Daisy. I think one was Zeus, I'm not remembering, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, they loved these dogs, and these dogs loved them. It was just really an amazing, they trusted them, it was, and we had a great meal there and everything. It was just a beautiful day. But anyway, I'm not wanting to talk about that. Once I had a cow named Blizzard, and she was born of another cow that I had, and I wish I could remember her name too, but I don't. Let's just say it was Olga. It was Olga, and I remember the other one's name. I had 2 of them. The cow, the type of cow, it wasn't a Holstein. It was a really good milk-giving cow. Really, both of the cows were. I can't remember the name of it though. Anyway, Olga was her name. And Olga and this other cow were just extremely friendly. They gave great milk, and we kept them in a barn. When I had a neighbor that had a barn, and we kept them there for a while. And in the process of that, I had another farmer that taught me how to artificially inseminate a cow. And it's a long story, but it's like a strange thing. I won't get into the details, but you got to use your arm and all this, and it's really a kind of gross thing. But your arm's up to your elbow, up to your shoulder, inside of her, and you have to squirt this juice into them. And anyway, I inseminated her, and she soon had a cow. She got pregnant. She had a cow named Blizzard. I named it Blizzard. The reason I named it Blizzard is because she was born in a terrible blizzard. It was like way below 0. And she was born breech. In other words, her butt was coming out first. And that's really not a real good thing. That's going to kill the cow and kill the calf too. So I had to reach in there, and me and my friend Dan, we had to pull her out of there with a rope. We had to tie her feet up, get her feet backed up out of there, tie the feet on a rope, and we had to pull her out with all our might. And the cow was laying down, and she was going nuts, and because she was in great pain. So we're pulling this cow out of there with all our strength, and it took a couple hours actually. It was really an ordeal, and we were cold out there. It was snowing terribly, and so Blizzard was stillborn. She wasn't breathing. She was alive, but she was moving, but a little bit, but stillborn. And so it was a horrendous situation. So I got a hair dryer, and I held her in my lap. She was big, and I held her in my lap, and she was all wet, and it was very cold out there. So I dried her off as best I could with the hair dryer, rubbing her fur, and she finally got dried off a little bit, and the warmth helped, I think, keep her alive. And then for the next, I don't know, I'm going to say probably 3 months, I had to feed her with a bottle because she couldn't find the tit from the cow. She couldn't. She just didn't have the strength. She couldn't do it, and I had to feed her. So Blizzard was born in extremely rough circumstances. Let's put it that way. So that's why I named her Blizzard, because I was like so happy to keep her alive. And you know what? There was something special about her and me. And as she grew, when she grew up, she was full of life. And oh man, she was fun. She'd run across the pasture and she'd excite all the other animals. I had a lot of animals there. And she was just really full of life and just loving life, So really what this is about is the love you get with an animal that's alive. And like Andy and Debbie with their dogs, they're pit bulls, and they're the most amazing animals I've ever seen. They're big and they're huge, really, actually, and tougher than nails, but they're as soft and meek as you can imagine. Just the most beautiful dogs, and they love them, and the dogs love them too. And that was what it was with me and Blizzard. She had a special bond with me because of what we went through together. It was an amazing thing to see an animal born, let alone have all that trouble, still survive. So I had this cow, and she was great. She sort of knew. I mean, she would sometimes run off into the woods and go to a neighbor's place, and I would go get her, and she'd come back with me and follow me home, just patting her on the butt, and she'd follow me home. And she was a good animal. She was really a good animal. Well, anyway, she grew up, and she had finally this one day she was getting big horns, really big horns. They stuck out maybe about like 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches, and they were really getting. And everybody was saying, this is going to be dangerous for me. I had to get rid of those horns, or she would gore me. And so I had the vet. I got her and we tied her to this tree, so she couldn't move really. And the vet had this thing where he just chopped the horn off in one swoop. I don't know, I remember what it was, like some kind of like a clomper or something, and he cut that horn off, and that cow right there stopped loving me right now. She just stopped loving me. And it almost like broke our bond. It was like, she was so horrible. She was frothing at the mouth. She was like just so upset. She fell down. She couldn't take it. It was so much such a painful thing for them to do. And it left a big hole in her head, on both sides, a big bloody hole in her head. I didn't realize the horns are hollow, and they're alive, and so they took the vet took the horn off, and ever since then, now the cow doesn't trust me. She's like, I don't know how to explain it. She's lost faith in me. To make matters worse, I had a wife that demanded that I get rid of the cows, and it was a really hard thing to do for me, because I really love them, and just like any animal, and if you have a loving animal, you know what I'm talking about. You get attached to them. They're part of you. It's an important part of you. And so I had to give the cow away, give them all away, and So I did, and I gave him to my nephew, Robert. And I thought Robert would love the cow that's the same as me. But the moment he got the cow, I guess he took it home and he had someone butcher it. And so you want to talk about somebody that's not a real good steward, that doesn't do the things that are right, or I guess you'd say. That's me. Because I let my cow down. She was butchered. And I would have never butchered that cow. I don't care if she lived to be 20 years old, I would have kept her. I wasn't after the milk. I wasn't after her meat. It was just that an animal that I loved, that loved me. So anyway, that's why I called that repetitent cow. I loved it and it loved me. And I failed her. I failed myself, actually. So that's the end of this segment. I don't know if I'll actually publish this, but I guess that's part of my life and one of the stories that I had to tell. So Tony out for Whalebones. GoPro, stop recording.